So Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. The most boring game of football we have watched since we played at the weekend against Chelsea, funny enough. However, we got the result. We're 7 points clear. And that result has been masked. Not the result, but the performance has been masked by the fact that Gibbs White back heel and Elliot Anderson's screamer, cost Manchester City 2 points at the Etihad tonight. Manchester United lost the goal, the winning goal. How can they attack with 10 men, by the way, and win? Crazy. However, all of the results, Liverpool, everything, all apart from Chelsea, F them. We beat them last week. Everything's gone in our favour. And we're currently 7 points clear. There's still a lot of football to be played. Chalked off another game. Man City got the game in hand. That's cool. However, we're another step closer, Kenny. Make sure you follow Kenny Ken 1972 on Instagram. We got Mansfield at the weekend. It's about time some of these players got a rest, mate, because there was some shockers out there today. And there was players running in the red zone big time. Declan, Timber, Mosquera was awful. Hincapia, I thought was all right. Yeah, and if we go through the players, we're not going to name a midfielder or maybe you will, or a forward player that actually performed today. Bukayo Saka's goal masked how poor he was yet again. The day before, I literally watched an 18-year-old at Barcelona run rings around everyone. I watched Pedri run rings around everyone. I'm watching a great game of football. Thank God I watched that, Kenny, yeah? But if we're going to win this league, this is us for the rest of the season. And this league is poor. And we're just better than all of them at scamming wins. And we don't care. Big up to everyone who went to the game. Big up to you, Kenny. And we move on, man. We move on. What did you make of that? I'm surprised you're still awake after watching that. I can't lie.
No. Dave, there's more that obviously Arsenal's at my first and only love, and always will be my first and only love. But one thing I will say is that there is football apart from Arsenal. But I'll tell you one thing now. I wish I wasn't right about what I said on Dan's show yesterday when I said, if you want to see football bit of finesse, you're going to have to forget it this season. We're going to grind out every result, and it might go in our favour. But it's hard watching us play, man. Sometimes, if you want to be entertained, you can't. You just have to give us a skip. I mean, Fabian Herzler, he was right, but he has to realise one thing: he can't be a sore loser. It wasn't our fault that Brighton had all that play and they tried to win the game, but they didn't have the cutting edge. Maybe if you had a younger striker rather than a 35-year-old, you might have been able to pay that a younger striker, and he could have played on was it Sunday as well as today. But you had to, because you've got an older striker you rely on for goals, you have to rotate him. You had to rotate your 40-year-old player as well. That's not our fault. But
what's a player he is, by the way? What a player he's been, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Proper professional.
James Milner, he's a god, but you couldn't play him, today because of what happened on Sunday. But one thing I will say, if we win this league, and it's a good chance that we'll win the league because Man City just will drop points, and the reason why they're going to keep on dropping points because Haaland isn't playing as well as he was 2 years ago. That's just a fact. He's still
to go more through Semenyo than him.
Yeah, maybe so. But even so, Semenyo can't do it on his own. Haaland hasn't turned up to the party. That's one of the worst kept secrets that no one wants to talk about. That Haaland has been poor.
He got marked out of the game, apparently. I only watched the highlights.
Maybe he's getting marked out of the game, but Haaland has been poor for about a couple of months now, and no one's talking about it. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to address it. Even in Europe, he's been poor. And at Man City, how they're in the title is not down to him. It's in spite of him. And it's the same with us.
It's down to us.
It's down to us, but same with us. How a team that basically has poor forwards who perform poorly since the turn of the year. How are we 7 points ahead of Man City? Gyökeres, is I'm not digging him out. I'm just saying that was just
No, I
crap.
dig him out because I'll dig him out, and I know
Yeah,
you've
but
been
you
on
know
this
what I'm saying.
case.
That was just
a shambles tonight.
Yeah, but that's the thing. What's new? This is the Gyökeres we've been seeing for the most of the season. Like everyone's talking about, he scored 15 goals, and they're going like statisticians. And I was arguing with Brandon. Brandon came up with some good points, but I wasn't having it because I was saying that Gyökeres' 15 goals is one of the biggest lies in football. It's as big a lie as England beating Germany 5-1 in Munich 23 years ago. That was a footballing myth. Well, Gyökeres, his stats is one of the biggest myths in football because the real Gyökeres, we saw him today. You can't make excuses. He didn't get service. He didn't do this. He was put through the lines.
And he was getting bullied, Kenny, by fullbacks.
But that's what happened all the time. But that's what happened all the time. In the first half, before Saka scored, he put a cross in that a striker should be sniffing. Where was he? Where was even Martinelli? You can't say that Saka's not passing the ball when Saka puts in a right foot first time.
Saka should have squared that back because all the players were pulling back.
Yeah, but you know what we're trying to a hungry striker. That's a cross that's gone past the defence. It's curled in.
4 yards over.
You're a striker. You just move. You move and you go for that. You don't just wait for it to come to you. You can't blame Saka for that. You can't blame.
Do you know what I likened him to? Yeah. Sorry to cut over you, because I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah. I likened him on the watch along to Emil Heskey. Yeah, but Emil Heskey is better than him. Emil Heskey's got all the size. Yeah. And he makes the runs. Yeah, but weren't clinical, but is way more clinical, but he didn't use his size. This guy is built like a shithouse. Yeah, and the way he gets barged off the ball is embarrassing. Forget the pace. Because if you've got movement, and his movement's good, but Emil Heskey's better than him as a footballer overall. And will be expected him.
It doesn't mean the reason why he gets barged to the ball. You know why he gets barged to the ball? It's because he's not sharp. He's not sharp enough.
Not on his toes.
He's not sharp enough. Yeah, he's quite an instinctive footballer where he'll hit it first time and he won't have to think about it. That's what it was like in Portugal, where it was very instinctive and it was at a slow pace. So because it was at a slow pace, it was able to react really quickly where in the last third. Here, where the tempo's pretty high and you have to work hard. I always say with Victor Gyökeres is that if you play it through the lines and he's 1-1 with the defender, I know Victor Gyökeres we tackled. I know that. You know that, and everyone knows that. Are you blaming Odegaard for that? He's not playing today. Are you blaming Saka for that? No. You gave him the service. He wasn't involved. And then when we take him off after the 58th minute, he had no right to complain. But then Kai Havertz came on. The Kai Havertz is very much maligned. In 5 seconds of coming onto this pitch, not only was he making the right runs, not only was he stretching the Brighton defence, he looked like more of a threat. In 5 seconds of coming on. Come on, this is not on. This is not on. When you talk about Gyökeres' stats, you can see where I'm coming from. All right, Gunnar may have been outrageous in terms of what he said about Kai Havertz, although he's got a good point, but he might have been a bit outrageous, and he might have been overcritical of Gyökeres. But the stats don't lie, and all the performances don't lie. Just look in the eye. He's not an Arsenal player, and then you've got Martinelli. That's
not under this manager. Not under this manager.
Yeah, but I think I just think if another manager came in, a top class manager, he'll probably have problems with him as well because he'll have issues with his technique. Can't be just this manager. That's my opinion. But you think about Martinelli. That's pathetic. That was. You know what about? You know what? Thing with Martinelli. I hate you said it.
You said it on the podcast on Monday. You said because I said what changes would you put him? And I said I'll put Martinelli in for Trossard. You said if you do that and he starts, you'll see why he shouldn't start games. And I'll see that again tonight.
He was rubbish. He was rubbish. Trossard came on, and Trossard was a little bit better. But he was still rubbish as well.
Which is why they don't start games on a consistent basis.
Zubimendi, thank God he got taken off because he wasn't great. great during the match, but he got his injury and we were able to use Norgard. But it's come to a situation where our best player today was Gabriel Magalhaes and maybe
Gabby,
Declan,
yeah.
and that's it.
I'd say Nkapia and Raya, and Declan
are we
Declan
calling
only
a tie?
because he runs around a lot. Because I
Yeah.
thought he was poor, Kenny. The amount of times he gave the ball away was
Was
embarrassing.
that Declan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then
but
he gave the ball away, but then he made a tackle, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's made a tackle."
Don't get me wrong. He's running an empty, right? He's running
Yeah,
an
he
empty,
is.
and you
Same as
can't
Timber.
take the consideration. But the reason why a lot of Arsenal fans are worried is because I don't think when teams won the title, you ever seen a team that relies so much on their organisation off the ball and defence and win the title with very little contribution from their forwards.
Yeah.
I mean, are we winning this title because we're the best team in the country, or are we winning this title because Man City are not the Man City of old and can't see games out? That's the question we need to ask. But we won't care. But further down the line, next season, it'll be an issue. If we don't improve,
But get it done now. Get it done now, and we'll deal with next season. Next season.
Yeah, but get it done now. But I'm just saying, for the future, if you look at Liverpool's title defence, how shambolic it is. If we don't get any improvements from our strikers, we'll be just like Liverpool next season. I promise you, because you got to get rid of Trossard and Martinelli. I was begging us to do that in off season, and people, the loyalists of Martinelli, to keep him on. No, get rid of them.
He's been there 8 years, Kenny. Get rid
of them. And I'm going to say something really controversial. I don't upset anyone, but I'm going to have to say it. We've got to look for another striker.
On that bombshell, Kenny Ken, 1972. I hear it. 1972, Kenny Ken, 1972 on Insta. I've shared your posts. Yeah. You'll be there against Mansfield. Or is it? Yeah, it's at home.
And I won't be there with Mansfield. My next game is going to be Everton. And after Everton, it's going to be...
at home. No, Mansfield's away, right?
Mansfield's away. So my next games are going to be Everton, Leverkusen second leg, and a cup final. And a kind of cup final. Sorry, Carabao Cup final.
That's not a bad 3 games, Kenny. I can't lie.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
At home, we normally beat them. Yeah, second leg of a Champions League. Yeah, and a cup final. That's not a bad 3 games.
I think the Leverkusen game is going to be a situation where Leverkusen will pay us too much respect and will shithouse our way to the quarterfinals. Everton will be just a boring game. And the League Cup final,
that'd be worse than
League Cup final. It'll be just won by a set piece. It'll be boring.
Bombshell. Jezza's next. Check out my fan cam. After Jez was at the game as well. So bless up Jez. He's waiting patiently. So I'm going to get on to Jezza, and now I'm live for an emergency meeting. And then tomorrow, we're all Crystal Palace, right? Big up West Ham.
I'm watching that game. I watch my games. So I do a lot of content for my good friend Chris Carling on his channel. So I'll be reviewing that game and giving my opinion afterwards.
We will be there. Bless up to everyone locked in. Follow Kenny Ken 1972 on Insta.